I feel like this should have been a lot earlier in the video, but I'm putting it in now. So for this early part, I'm going to go to filter blade on .xyz. I'm going to go to POE1. I'm going to go to strictness for a filter. I'm going to click advanced mode and I am going to select strict, just the generic strict filter. I'm going to hit done. I'm going to hit export the file to POE. I'm going to name it B2B early. That way it's easy for me to remember. And I'm going to export and I'm going to save and upload. This is the filter I'm going to be using early on. So it's not like my own filter. It's just Filter Blade's generic strict early filter. Yo, what is up, guys? Joker here bringing you another video. This time with a mini series I'm going to call Beyond the Belts. And what this is essentially going to be is a new game plus type of series. Think of it like rebuilding from a mega rare, right? Where I go ahead and take a fresh campaign cleared character, my level 68 assassin here, and one divine, and I gear up the character and show off a bunch of different currency making strategies while showing how I craft and upgrade the character along the way. The main reason for this series is I wanted to show currency making strategies and character progression, and I did not want to do a zero to hero. Honestly, there's already people that do zero to hero perfectly. So I figured, you know what, let's just go ahead and hopefully this still accomplishes the goal of showing off a bunch of different currency making strategies while showing you how I progress a character. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off, we went ahead and sold our divine orb for 183 chaos. And the first item that I need to grab is a 6-linked sadist garb. The reason why I need a sadist garb is the highest level base that the character can currently wear. So we're going to go ahead and grab this sadist garb, and then we go to the currency exchange. We're going to go to essence, and let's just do essence of hatred works. So we're going to go ahead and buy some of these. And then the next thing that we need to buy the next thing we're going to buy is 2 tamings, actually. And that's going to be because the tamings are super cheap and actually give us not only a lot of damage, but a lot of resistances. Like, let's go ahead and grab this one. And I don't want to use 25C, so we're going to go over here and grab this other one. Because if we go ahead and take a look at our resistances now they are at least positive. Next up, since it's going to be super hard for us to be CI on low budget, we're going to grab some armor pieces that have fractured chaos res. So we're going to grab a fractured helmet, fractured gloves, and fractured boots that have, actually maybe not boots, but definitely the helmet and the gloves are going to have fractured chaos res like this one. Okay, so bad news. Turns out I'm an idiot and I was crafting all of the gear and I ran out of currency. I only have 6C left to buy a claw. I totally forgot about buying a claw. I think I'm just going to grab an amulet from Faustus here real quick. And that's going to be the amulet we rock for right now because I'm just out of money, right? So the strategy is going to be jumping into mapping, seeing if we can clear anything with this setup. If we can't, then run Blunt Aqueducts for a couple of levels and then try again with lower tier maps. So this is what our starting gear is ending up looking like after the 1 div investment. Not really the greatest or most confidence inspiring, but you know what? It's going to work for right now. At least I'm 99.9% sure. All right, so we ran some maps. This is what our initial atlas looks like, the starting plan that we're using, and it's essentially just running and sustaining maps while farming harvest juice because harvest juice is so expensive. We're also grabbing scarabs when we can as well because even though they aren't expensive individually right now, there is a chance that you will get a decent scarab. I'm also running this in T7 maps because the character doesn't have enough damage right now to run red maps, actually. Um, the third thing that I'm going to mention is we're going to sell some of this loot that we managed to get from, I'd say, about 7 maps so far. We're going to sell it because the amulet that this character actually uses is going to be a badge of the Brotherhood. I'm an idiot and I forgot, but that's a lot of extra elusive effect. So let's go ahead and go to the currency exchange. And just by selling the juice that we've farmed so far, we should have more than enough money to go ahead. Yeah, we've already managed to make 59C farming yellow maps harvest juiced, right? And we also did change the primary skill. We're now Lightning Strike because while I was playing with Static, Strike a Gathering, and the damage from the innate change seems like it could be high, uh, there's just literally no reason in my head why I would not rather play Lightning Strike instead because we get projectiles in this and we don't get projectiles in this. So I'm going to go ahead and let us pick up a badge of the Brotherhood that has the 10% effect. This is 15C, perfectly fine. We're rich now, after all. And this is going to be another 40% elusive effect. Right now, we're already hitting like 350% elusive effect. So this is going to push us closer to 400% elusive effect. As soon as I can load into this hideout. All right, we grabbed our badge of the Brotherhood. We go ahead and throw that on. So this does a lot for us because we have 5 power charges as well. That means that we go from having 3 to 5 frenzy charges as well. The next thing that I think I'm going to buy here real quick, let's just go ahead and show you that this money is going into these tabs, right? So the next thing I think I'm going to buy is a 2020 Fall Lightning Strike, just because that's going to give us a lot of damage as well. Okay, so that is a little out of the budget. I didn't think that was going to be 140C. So let's buy a Vol Lightning Strike and just level it up Wow, really? Do not tell me that just every Vol Lightning Strike is going to be like 50C because okay, 8C. You know what? We'll level it up ourselves. It'll suck a little bit, but we should be able to level it up fairly fast. There we go. Vol Lightning Strike. And now we're going to get right back to farming. All right, we ran some more maps and we're at 116C left over. Honestly, harvest, even in yellow maps, is pretty good. I went ahead and I added Eldridge implicits onto my gear. So, gloves, we got target 1 additional enemy and pierce. Chestplate, we have flash have increased effect, and melee hits have a chance to fortify. Then we have brittle and elusive effects. And then we got increased mana cost efficiency and a little bit of physical damage as fire damage. I did also go ahead and automate my flasks for them to be used when they reach full charges, and all of them do have the modifier for gaining a flash charge on critical strike. Right now, we are using Headhunter over Mage Blood because of the fact that we don't have enough currency to roll these perfectly, right? And then get the other orbs to increase the effect. So right now, Headhunter is just the more beneficial belt. And another batch of Life Force sold. We forced our way up to T14 maps. So now we're actually going to be able to start taking advantage of altars as well. Because in case you're unaware, you only have to be in a T14 map to use an altar. But so far, we're up to 720C. So if we turn a little bit of this into divines, we can have 3 div and 165C. That's just in case div continue to go up, because last night they were like 140 and now they're like 190. So like they jumped super quickly. So we're going to do that just to fight a little bit of inflation. Since I was able to push into red maps, I'm going back into my filter. I'm going to customize, I'm going to miscellaneous, and I'm going to add additional show hide rules. This is going to allow me to highlight specific bases. This is because I'm going to recom these bases later on to get my pretty much next set of gear. So we need to start gathering those bases now. Hey, my first tink. That's our first divine. With that divine drop, I went ahead and bought our first decent upgrade, which is going to be a necrotic armor that has a 19% spell suppression fractured on it. Then I'm going to go ahead and using some self-farmed jewelers, I'm going to make it a 6 socket item. And then I'm going to go to Faustus and I am going to buy 1,500 fusings for 125C. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow us to get a 6-link body armor for essentially cheaper than it would have been otherwise. Let's go ahead and take a look and see. So if we look at the base item with the fracture, yeah, it's saying, oh, well, I guess there was one for 5 div, but the one right next to that is 8 div and then 10 div, right? Now, these probably have some mods crafted onto them, but it's still overall cheaper just to go ahead and buy and link the item yourself, because I probably saved 1 to 2 div doing that. And level 90. I think that's where I'm going to go ahead and call this first episode. I made some pretty decent progress. Honestly, the kind of Alkin Go harvest gave me a lot more currency than I thought it was going to, especially since we started it in lower tier maps. I'll have the atlas down in the description for you guys, and we're not using any scarabs, right? So the initial investment for this is just literally being able to sustain maps, which you do perfectly fine, right? I'd say we made about 10 div. We still have primarily the 1 div in gear on. I'm gonna finish crafting this chest plate with the remainder of our currency. Well, potentially not finished, but definitely settle. Just get double res on it, probably. And so then this is going to be our new chest plate, and it's already an upgrade compared to our current one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. And until next time, take care.